Thank you for joining me. We're going to be in Magnet Field with this product demonstration, specifically talking about menu customization. We're going to be renaming some icons, menus. We're going to be repositioning them and also show you how to remove some of those and just help you have a better experience with Magnet Field. Now, this is just a product demonstration. For training lessons, check out TopCon's e-learning. elearning.topcon.com. There's a lot of resources there. And My TopCon Now, you can get to My TopCon Now from the browser or from an app. So check those out. So let's get started. So inside Magnet Field, this is version 7 that we're looking at. Now the home screen, whether I'm using optical or GPS, is pretty much identical except for this one icon up here. This is a GPS receiver, lets me know that I'm in or connected to a GPS receiver. So for example, under setup, this is where you'd see some of the icons change. That is different than if you are connected to a optical instrument. So let's connect to our optical, then take a look at setup and notice that the menus change automatically based on the equipment that we're using. So Magnet Field is very customizable, and that's what we want to highlight and showcase today in this product demonstration. Now, one of the first things I want to show you is how to remove icons that you just don't need to simplify the program, maybe particular for a crew or a discipline style of work that you're doing, whether it's construction or vertical construction specifically. And one of the easiest things to do is just remove icons that you don't need. So to customize your menu, start with the M button. Some people call that the Mighty Magnet button, and come down to Configure Menus. Now notice here on the left, this is your home screen. So we have an icon on the home screen that's Job, one that's Configure and Exchange, and then this is the sub-menus. If you clicked on Job from the home screen, then you'd see these icons. Same thing with Configure and Exchange. So basically, just from the home screen, let's take, for example, we're not going to be doing any reports, creating them, so I don't need to see that. So that's the only thing I do not have to check. If I wanted to keep reports on, but just don't need report header or stake reports, all I need is field reports, I could uncheck them just for the submenus. But this would remove all of them. So we'll click OK, and notice that reports is no longer in the menu. Now one of the submenus that is very busy, let's say, is under the stakeout. Now maybe you have a field crew that they do simple point staking, maybe some lines and offsets, but they're not going to be staking curves and real-time roads. So we can clean this up a little bit also. So back to the Mighty Magnet button, Configure Menus. We'll come down to Stake, and then let's remove things that we probably will never use. 3D model, slope staking, roads, real-time roads, maybe surface and grids, for example. We just need just the very basics. So we'll click OK. Now, once you go to Stake, all this is cleaned up. It's not near as busy. It's so much simpler to find exactly the features, menu features that you would be using. Okay, let's go back to the home screen. Another very powerful feature is the fact that we can rename these icons. So if you have field crews that are doing maybe different disciplines of work, whether they're doing GIS work, vertical, or in the BIM market, we can, or construction, for example, we can rename these icons to make, I guess, better sense to the terminology that you use every day. So take, for example, stake. A lot of people just call that a layout point. So you can go to the Magnet button, come down to Configure Menus, and then we will choose stake, for example. And then over here, this little folder with the pen, we can just call this one maybe point layout. And let's click OK. OK. And now it says point layout. Another option under survey and topo, for example. Maybe we want to call that collect point. So configure the menus, come down to survey, highlight topo. Now this is a submenu, so make sure this is highlighted. Click here. It says topo here, and we'll call it collect point. So go to survey and then collect point. And you can go through here and work with all of the different icons and so forth. Another nice feature of customizing the menu is being able to relocate menu icons. Let me show you one specifically. If you go to calculate offsets, this intersection menu was moved somewhere in version 5, and this is kind of hard to locate. But it's also a very popular icon, so maybe we want to put this out on the home screen. So let's go back to the home screen, go to Configure Menus, and we will go to Calculate Offsets, and I have to expand that, and then we'll come down and choose Intersection. So we'll use the Cut feature. Okay, now here I want to go back to the home screen, but I don't want to just specifically choose job. I need to click out here somewhere so nothing is highlighted. If I have this highlighted here, it would put it in a submenu. But here I will just paste it now, and then intersection is part of the home screen. Let's take a quick look at that. So intersection is on the home screen. Now also, besides moving, cutting and pasting from one location or another, you can sort the field menus also. So we'll go back, configure menus, highlight intersection, and I do not want that to be the very first thing we do, but it is very popular. But I will move that down the list wherever I feel like I want it. And then check OK. So now we have intersection on the home screen over here on the right, and it's quickly there for me to find. And you can do that in any of these submenus also. Now once you have your menus customized exactly how you want, you can go up to the Mighty Magnet button, come down to Configure Menus, go back to the button once more, and then click Save As. And this is your path. I will just call this a custom menu, and let's click Save. Now take, for example, you need to do tech support from somebody and they do not have your customized menu. It may be good to go back to Configure Menus, go back to the Mighty Magnet, hit Reset to the default, change everything back to the way it should be. So your stake, all your stake information is just right back where it was. Once you've completed the tech support, you can come back, configure the Mighty menu, back again, click Load, and then load your custom menu back into the data collector, and you're right back where you were before. And you can have multiple menus for different disciplines of work that are available to do out in the field. Now that custom menu, you can also save that and give it by USB flash drive to other crews, and you could use that menu, create it one time and use it on multiple crews. Carrying on with the same path is the fact that if you have menus that somebody has already created, we can load them. So I will go back to the Mighty Magnet button, come down to Configure Menus, go back to this again. I'm going to click Load, and then I'm going to navigate to my USB flash drive. And notice here I have different menus that are already created. And let's just double click on this field layout. And we'll click OK. Now this layout is what you would see if you are running Magnet Field layout, or pretty close. So the icons are changed, they've moved around. Some of the icons are brought in from submenus out to the main screen. Let's show you that again, because if you noticed when I configured my menus and I went to the flash drive, you may have noticed that I have a Carlson, ServPC, and Survey Pro. So if you're coming from, let's say, Carlson ServPC and transitioning into Magnet, we can load, or you can load, a menu that looks a lot like what you've been accustomed to with Carlson, so your learning curve will be quite a bit shorter because you're not having to search and find based on the menu icons. So this is a very close representation of what you would see with a Carlson data collector. So a lot of this has been rearranged to match Carlson. Then we can always go back to the main menu, reset to the default, and be right back to our main default. Let's take a quick look at the Survey Pro menu. We'll click OK, and this is the menu layout that closely resembles the way Survey Pro is laid out. So once you have a menu set up, and this is especially maybe if you're an owner of a company and you do not want maybe the field crews or somebody messing with these menus, we can padlock this with a password and protect it so nobody can change these menus and screw it up. So go back to the Mighty Magnet button, configure menus, and notice right down here you have a folder with a padlock. You can enter a password and confirm it, and then save this, or basically lock it out so nobody without a password can get in there and change these survey configurations. So thank you for watching. This concludes this video on Magnet Field menu customization.